All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome UTSA offensive lineman Kamar, Missouri. Man, how's it going?
Everything good. Glad to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, for sure, man. For those people who are not familiar with you, man, tell them who you are.
Yeah, my name Kamar, Missouri. Like you said, I'm an offensive lineman at UTSA. Graduated this past May. Transferred in from Rutgers University in 2024, and yeah, from Baltimore.
That's what's up, man. So, what got you into football, man?
I I started playing football late. I started playing sports late, period. But football, I started playing real late. I never really wanted to play football. One day we took my cousins to practice, and the coach seen me. I was about seventh grade, and the coach seen me, and he was, I was like the biggest thing out there, and he just begged my mother to sign me up. So she asked me like, did I want to play? And I was like, no. But my cousins came over and asked me to play with them, and then I eventually played with them, and then I haven't looked back since.
It's like one of those, like sometimes if a coach sees a bigger athlete, they're going to say, man, we got to get this guy on our team.
Yeah,
So you were like the attraction to their football team. Like once they saw
yeah,
you out there, they were like saying, oh, we got to get this kid out there.
yeah,
I mean, then your cousin convinced you, and then it just came into flow, man. But
yeah. Just waterfall, snowball effect.
for sure, man. So even though coming out of high school, what were the offers like, man?
Um, I had more interest than offers due to the fact that my grades wasn't the best. It was really my SAT scores weren't the best at the time, but I had offers from um what like a lot of D2 schools. I had North Carolina Central, I had Morgan State, I had Towson University, I had like a lot of JUCO offers. So Golden no, some gardens. I can't really remember. I had Independence Community College. Uh, and then I had interest from all over. I had Syracuse. I just had a lot of interest. And then once COVID hit, because I was committed to Independence out of high school, I was supposed to go JUCO. COVID hit, and they canceled the SATs. So that's when schools started like reaching back out to me and stuff. And Rutgers reached out. Coach Fran Brown, head coach at Syracuse, he reached out to me, and I committed to Rutgers.
I guess COVID just happened for a reason. Like, it was like
Man,
one of the struggling years, right? Where it
yeah,
came hard for those recruiters, but I guess it was a blessing in disguise. It led you to Rutgers, man. So Rutgers is what it is, bro. What was the experience like going to Rutgers?
it was pretty cool. I feel like my first 2 years, I really didn't get the college experience because it was like COVID. So like I didn't go to class. Like I didn't have an in person class until like my third year at Rutgers. So I don't know. It was a good experience. And I made a lot of good relationships there. Guys that I can call my brothers for life. So shout out to them boys.
Yeah, I mean the COVID year was challenging, and like you said, you didn't get to go to those classes until your third year,
Yeah.
so that had to be something difficult. Like, dude, it had to be challenging, right? Just
Yeah,
from
it was kind of depressing. We just going from we had workouts that, separated. We on the field working outside. We all like 10 yards apart wearing a mask in 80-degree weather. So it was just a lot of structure that you didn't expect coming to college. But due to the circumstances, that's what life was at that time. So it was weird. But once everything got back to normal, and it was like, okay, this what college supposed to be. But I don't know. I kind of enjoyed taking classes from my room.
a lot of it has changed. Even the virtual interviews is becoming a thing now that guys like myself are doing stuff like this. Before it would be more in person.
Yeah.
Now you
Yep.
just do those Zoom call-ins and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's such a changer, man. Like technology has changed a little bit. Maybe it was for the better for COVID, maybe.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
like you said, adversity makes the best out of somebody.
Yeah.
So then you took your transfer to UTSA. What made you transfer?
I started what 4 or 5 games at right tackle at Rutgers, and just eventually, I just got pulled and got benched, and really wasn't told why. What like I just got pulled, so I decided to better myself. I spoke with my family, and we thought it was best that I took my talents elsewhere. And I was in the portal, had plenty of opportunities. Um, I wanted to go to Louisville, but that's neither here or there. But UTSA reached out to my high school coach, and my high school coach is a guy that I trust in. He helped me get to really where I am today. And I listened to him. I took the call. Next thing you know, I'm on a visit, and the coaches, I was just looking for a place where they was gonna be honest with me, keep it real, and that's what they did. So I committed on my visit, and the rest is history. Spent 2 seasons there.
Yeah. What was the environment like just going from San Antonio, right? You go from
It
one of
was different. It was different. Mind you, when I got there, I never been to Texas before that, so I only know Texas for being hot. It was cold. It felt like I was back at home in Baltimore. It was freezing cold. But it was just, it was different, like far as it was like a culture shock coming from a big school, a P5 school to a group of five school. And it took me a while to, adjust. And like once I adjusted, it was pretty smooth. Everything was just smooth sailing, but it took me a long time to adjust.
yeah, one thing about Texas that nobody realized, the weather can change at any moment.
Yeah. But I
Like
didn't expect it to get that cold. It was cold. It get cold in Texas. People don't know that, but
yeah, it can go from being hot to being super cold,
yeah. And
just like
not
that.
much rain.
Not
It
much rain,
didn't
but yeah,
rain in San Antonio a lot. It rained like every, I don't know, 3 weeks probably, if that.
yeah. But you kind of get that the culture vibes is different, especially their
Yeah,
barbecues and all their good food over there, man. The
yeah,
Mexican food is something you probably wouldn't
yeah. A
think
lot of
of.
Mexican food, and I'm not really a big fan of Mexican food, But the barbecue, I found a nice barbecue spot in San Antonio that I love. I might gotta stop there every time I go.
Oh, trust me, man. If you're not too big on Mexican food in Texas, maybe you might like it in California. Virgin. You never know because they do it differently. But yeah, this is crazy, man. So you started off at Rutgers, following in the footsteps of another Niners legend who happened to play tackle at Rutgers for many years. Then you go into another trajectory path to where the guy who's entering free agency, Spencer Burford, who just happened to play at the same program for 4 years. He was
Yeah,
a four-star recruit. What kind of star recruit were you?
I wasn't. I ain't had no stars. They tried to
Oh,
give me
you
my
had more to prove.
stars. Yeah, they tried to give me my stars after I committed, and I was just like, bro, it's like, it's no point at this point. Like, what's the point? But yeah, I wasn't really.
Oh, so you were
Uh,
like one of those guys that had more to prove. Okay, I can respect that.
yeah.
So why should NFL teams draft you, and what stands out about you from the rest of the offensive line?
I feel like a team should draft me because, like you just said, I play with a chip on my shoulder. I feel as though I always have something to prove, and not necessarily to. I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I be trying to prove myself right. Like, let myself know that I belong. All my career, I've been told where I shouldn't be or what I shouldn't have done. But at the end of the day, I'm the one putting in the work. I'm the one putting the cleats on, the helmet on, risking, my health to play the game that I love. So that's like I said, like you just spoke on. I really got a chip on my shoulder. I'm from Baltimore. Not too many people. You can probably count on one hand how many NFL players that outside of you got Tavon Austin and names of that such. But I like putting on for my city. you know, um, in my class, my graduating class, I was the only kid to go Power 5 in public schools in the whole Baltimore. So like that's big, coming from where I come from. People really don't make it out. It's either you caught up going the wrong direction or you just at home. So for me to be able to, get a full ride and, make it out and possibly change the trajectory of my family, that's cool. So and I don't know. Can you repeat the second question?
No, like what makes you stand out for the
Oh yeah,
rest of the?
I feel as though I stand out because like I said, I'm from Baltimore. I feel like we play with a different type of swag. People might think it's cocky, but I don't think we cocky. We just confident. We gritty. Like you got to be coming from where we come from. And I'm not the biggest guy out there, and I feel like once people line up in front of me, that's when they be like, oh, like he might not be the biggest, but he play like he is. He gonna move you off this ball, like he going against your will, like he gonna get stuff done. I feel like I get stuff done.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, just looking at your size, you're listed at 6'5", 310 pounds. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I had my pro day. I'm gonna be 310, 315.
Okay. So from reports, since I'm kind of the guy that likes to look into it, you met with four NFL teams, correct?
Yes.
So what were the interactions with the 49ers and those other three teams you met with?
Yeah, so the 49ers was my first meeting. It was pretty good. The scout, it was a good interaction. I was nervous at first because I never really spoke to a scout before, but once you go through your first one, it get pretty easy. But he was, kind of surprised and happy, excited due to the fact that I spoke to him about watching film and how I break down my opponents and stuff like that. And he was excited about that. So just letting him know that like I'm a football junkie. Like I live for football. I sleep football. I eat football. So you know, and we spoke on Big Spencer a little bit. So we got some people that we know this. And yeah, man. Then I spoke with the Saints. That was another good one. Hey, I'm grateful to speak to every scout that
Yeah,
decides to talk to me.
under the radar, man.
The Patriots
And the Raiders.
and the Raiders as well. I
I
feel like my
mean,
best ones might have been the 49ers, the Raiders, and if I had to rate them in order, the Patriots and Saints.
okay, you can't go wrong with either choice, but
Yeah,
I'm just kind of guessing from an outside perspective. I think Niners are probably looking at you as a versatile player, like maybe a guy who can maybe move the guard. Is
God,
that
yes
where
sir.
they're talking about there?
So the meeting, we really didn't talk football for the most part. They was trying to get to know me as a person. Who am I off the field? And football it came up very little. Most
Human
for the
being
most
wise.
part, they was just trying to figure out who I was. Like as a person, who is Kamar, Missouri. So I'm
Oh,
just out
okay.
there selling myself.
Know you a little bit as a human being, but I'm guessing very little talk, like you said. But where are you currently like working out as a tackle or as a guard?
I do everything. I even been snapping.
Oh, dude.
I've been
Okay, so
snapping a little bit. I got so much more respect for a center. Snapping that ball not easy. It's just a whole different game in there. But I've been snapping. I've been working at guard and continue to work at tackle. More right tackle. I try to really lock in that right tackle due to the fact that I played left tackle my whole career except for one season. And just trying to switching sides is different. That hand-eye
it is
coordination is
different
different.
size.
So
Yeah.
I'm really trying. Excuse me. I'm trying to, get my hand speed to match my hand speed when I'm on the left side.
Okay. So hypothetically, out of your experience, you had good interactions with the Niners at number one. So let's say hypothetically you end up in this situation. What would it be like just to play next to Trent Williams, and what would it be like to learn from one of the future Hall of Famers?
Hey man, Trent Williams, he made it cool to play O line. I watch Trent all the time. I tried to get Big Spencer to FaceTime him for me one time, but I don't know. It'll be a blessing. Just picking his brain. A guy that a matriarch in the league. A guy like that just to be able to pick his brain, learn. Like I would be the biggest sponge. He'll probably get tired of me, but I'm sure he used to guys. Coming to him, asking him. Just getting, learning, understand how to be a pro. But I don't know. That'd be a dream come true.
Oh yeah, for sure. And since you keep in contact with Spencer Burford, man, what's the advice that he's given you?
That's my guy. It been times he was in San Antonio and I hit him up and we'd meet at the facility just to watch film for about an hour or two. Or as far as like my like how to take care of my body, things that he do that helps him that he could pass along to me. And he told I told him, I'm like, bro, if I'm getting annoying, bro, just let me know. He was like, nah, bro, like my phone always open. So like that's a great dude. I'm glad I got to know him. You know, I'm glad I can call him my brother. And like to this day, we still even throughout this process, he been helping me, you know, just telling me like, you know, things what to do, what not to do, what a scout might look for, you know, as far as eating, like things to eat, how to you know, he been a big help as well.
Yeah, he happened to be in a similar situation that you were, except he played 4 years at that college and he was a
Yeah.
four-star recruit. That was the only
Yeah.
difference. But I think you guys have similarities. Like I think you guys have the similar size. You guys play tackle, but you did say you play a little bit of guard, and you probably wouldn't mind playing center if they asked you to.
Look, they can whatever they ask me to play, I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I love that, bro. And like
Whatever.
you said, you came from Baltimore, which is probably one of the most difficult cities to get out of. Sometimes you either make it out or you
Or you
just
don't.
stay
Yeah.
in the blow. Like it's got to be a tough challenge. Like you even said, you were probably like one of the very few guys to get like like a top school or something.
Yeah.
And it's hard, bro. Like some people don't realize it until but
Until you
football
win it.
got you,
Yep.
yeah. But football got you on the way out. So
Yes, sir.
as far as like a player, since you do a lot of film junkie, who do you model your game after, man? Like we did bring up two guys, but maybe bring up another person in mind if you
Yeah.
want.
I
We can
watch a
take
lot
it.
of Dion Dawkins. Dion Dawkins got me cussed out a lot on the field.
Oh, I like
But
that.
man, due to the he just played a game so different. Like he got a different swag to him. And I feel, I can't go out there and watch a tackle that's 6'10". I'm not 6'10", I'm 6'5". So I tend to watch tackles that's my height and just athletic as me. So I watch Trent Williams, I watch Dion Dawkins, I watch Laurie Tunsil. I watch those guys and I try to, I don't just try, I do what they do. Like I don't know if you ever watched Dion Dawkins, how he take that big old wide split. I do that in the game, and I just let my guard know, like, bro, like we on our own, so I just try to do stuff. I feel like that's how you learn yourself. You gotta try to do stuff, and you know, you gotta bet on yourself. And I always bet on myself, and I win. So, I do a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't do and get away with, and I just gotta rely on my technique and stuff to bail me out of it.
Oh, like the best quote that Trent Williams did say: if they didn't throw a flag, then hey, it's like
Yeah.
it's like something about like if you pass the red line and there's no ticket, then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I
good.
don't know. That was one of the quotes that Trent Williams put out there because I think somebody was complaining about Trent Holden or something. He says if they're not throwing,
If they don't
it's
call a
like if
flag, it's not a hold.
yeah, it was like the other way around. But so how do you prepare for your opponents and what's your game day routine like? Like
So
your
yeah, so we would have a meeting on Sunday, get the cut up film, and I would just study tendencies. Like I can't really watch a whole game due to the fact that I'm in football all day. So I like to look for tendencies. So like if I always bring up like for the scouts, I will always bring up like a big name so that they could go back and watch my film against that name, and hopefully it helped me a lot. But I like I always talk about like when we played Texas A&M, their DN. If he feel you lean while he punching, he gonna spin inside. He like to go speed the power. He like to ghost. I just look for stuff like that because I feel as though a person can only have so much in a bag that they can use against another person. Like you're not gonna pass rush me the same way you pass rush the guy you did next week. Due to the fact I feel like I'm just athletic as you. I'm a D lineman that moved to O line, if that makes sense. So I try to make that player switch up his whole game when they go against me. Like, oh dang, this guy just as fast as me. He just play O line. That's my whole motive. But I look for tendencies. I look for how they communicate, how fast he get off the ball, how hard he hit the opponent coming off the ball. And if I see a weakness in it, I just try to expose it.
oh man, so the crazy part is you have a background in playing defensive lineman. So what's the difference? Like some people don't realize the difference. What's the difference between playing the defensive line and the offensive line, and why you feel like you have the advantage against the D line?
Yeah, the difference, shoot, you going backwards. You're
Yeah,
not just
pretty
running
much.
straight. I had to get comfortable with going backwards and maintaining contact. Like, okay, I'm not just pushing somebody now, and I'm getting pushed, but I got to be able to maintain this break embrace. And I feel like that was my hardest part, transitioning to O line on the collegiate level. Um, Cause high school was easy. I was just throwing everybody around, but it's really not too much different. Who what dog want to fight the longest? That's really what it is. I feel as though I'm a good O lineman because I brought that dog mentality to O line. I feel like as a defensive player, you gotta be an asshole. You gotta be the guy that people get annoyed with. And hey, I'm annoying on O line. I do my best to play the mental game as hard as I can. If you lined up across from me, like I'm a talk to you. I'm just gonna get in your head to throw you off your game. And as soon as I see that I got you, it's over with. It's you. It's mine. You playing my game. That's what I make. I
Ooh,
play the game within the game.
ooh. So you got that trash talk mentality. Okay.
Yeah, for
Some of
sure.
them like to do the play talking, man, but you like to get under their head a little bit. Okay.
Yeah,
I like that, man. Like versatility. You got the D line
yeah.
background. You come from a tough city, man. Like nobody doesn't realize what it's like to be doubted with, right? Like
Yes, sir.
they didn't give you a chance, and you had to go out there to
Mm-mm.
prove it. So
Exactly. I had teachers that told me like, I couldn't go to a big school due to my academic background or whatnot, and like it just always stuck with me, and like, I felt as though I always had something to prove.
yeah, you can tell those teachers who doubt you, man. Turn that doubt nicely. Turn that some bitch sideways and stick it straight up the candy ass because you're getting to the NFL at the next level,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Appreciate it, man.
Man, if they don't know it then, bro, they gonna be watching at some point. But
Yes, sir.
so just from playing college for at least 6 years, right? You're more seasoned. You got a lot of experience you developed at the position, so that I feel like that gives you a little more of an advantage at the top of your draft class a little bit.
Yeah. Coming from two great programs, a program that's still up on the rise. I met a lot of older players and a lot of older coaches that been around the game for so long. So every room, I always made sure I picked their brains. Like if you were older than me, even if you wasn't older than me, I always even asked a young guy, like, what did you see that I could have did differently? Like I feel as though a lot of people forget you can still be humble within this game. Like just because you older than a player, that don't mean you can't learn from them because they might have seen something different. But I if I'm not on the field, I don't speak because once you get on that field, it's just different. Like you understand, and I understood that as I grew as a player because I would always try to coach up my old heads, and then once I got out there, I'm like, okay, I understand it now, and I get why it's easier to look at it than when you really in it. So, I had a lot of coaches that believed in me. I had some coaches that didn't believe in me, but like I said, I continued to believe in myself and pick people brains, pick coaches' brains. I feel as though that made me who I am. I never been scared to ask the coach a question. Okay, coach, why are we doing this? Because I need to know it. I'm on the field. I need to know why are we doing it or what to look for to make the call or something like that. So that's just who I am. I'm not, like I said, I'm not cocky. I'm just confident in what I do, and I want to be the best one doing it.
Yeah, even if you have to learn from somebody a little younger than you, it doesn't hurt because, like you said, they
Yeah,
might have something. They're probably a way quick learner, and it helps you a little bit more of what they see.
exactly.
And sometimes asking questions isn't a bad thing. Some people may think it's annoying, but it's not because you really want to get ahead of yourself on certain
Exactly.
occasions. You want to know the details and know what to do. So it's like it gets kind of like frustrating for some people because we're all competing for a job, but if you're just
Yeah.
learning, you'll get there in no time. So looking at how it's gonna play out, man, who is Kamar Missouri as a human being?
And I'm a humble guy. Some people say I'm too humble, but I just don't forget where I came from. Um, I'm a leader. I'm selfless. I put everybody before myself. I got people that it's been times I brought like my teammates to my recruiting visits at school. During high school, like I would always bring my quarterback with me, just because that I felt as though that was my brother, and I just wanted him to get a fair opportunity. Just get an opportunity. I'm a loving guy. You know, I Kamar, Missouri on the field and off the field, two different people.
Hey, on the football field, you're probably the most annoying guy on the football
Yeah,
field from the looks of
probably,
it.
probably that's my goal. And
All right,
you know,
off the field, you're a good guy.
I really don't care. And you know, I'm a guy that I think the biggest word for me is just selfless. You know, I feel as though like I'm always trying to put people before me. How can I
Yeah,
help this person? How can I help that person? And sometimes people, you know, people get mad at me for doing that, but somebody helped me along the way. So I just, you know, I just love, you know, giving back.
for sure. I mean, that's the best part. Like you could just like you can have your own way of like you can be the separate person, like what you say you are, but on the football field, turn that switch. You don't need to
Yeah.
be likable, man. You just need to go out there and go play, man. Um, so just from all that, bro, I can see why four teams might be interested in you, bro, because you got something to prove and you got versatility and you've learned the position for quite some time. So I can see what they're seeing over there, bro. Like even watching a little bit of your clips, man, of how you were talking about how you kind of like watched Bryant like Deion Dawkins, right? So he had a little talking just like you were doing.
Yeah.
I can see that, bro. That dog mentality, bro. So, like the old quote saying, man, you want to be at top or you want to be the nice guy that finished last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. So
exactly, bro. But so what's the area of weakness that you need to improve on at the next level?
um like maintaining a block, uh due to like I said, I wasn't the biggest, so it was people always want to like shed me off blocks. Run game, like being more dominant in the run game, you know, that I guess you can put that along with maintaining blocks or um quick game as well. Like I gotta know, even though the ball might come out supposed to come out fast, it might not come out fast. So I still need to strain through that block and stay in front of the man in front of me. That's the thing about me. Like I don't just look at my goods. I always go to my bads first. What can I do to get better? I look at them bads. I mean, I look at them goods last. That's last on my list. I want to
Yeah,
always, even if we won a game, even if I gave up 0 sacks, what could I have done better? You know, to not have a pressure or a hurry. You know, stuff of that nature.
yeah. Those are the details that people don't realize. Like, yeah, you can look at the positive on other sides, but why not look a little bit of the negative, what you can work on better, so it
Yeah.
doesn't become an issue. But
Yeah, you can't be scared to look at the negative.
So, what do you take away from your entire college career, from going to Rutgers to UTSA to build on to the NFL?
um, I take away commitment. Honestly, I know a lot of people that probably would have quit in that situation. You know, being at the highest level, then to now going to what some people may call the lowest level, but to a lower level school. You know, I feel as though that just shows my fight. That shows my want. You know, that shows that I'm desperate and not prosperous. You get what I'm saying? Like this is something that I wanted to do since I was a kid. I wanted to get to the highest level and be the best at it. So that's the goal that I'm reaching for.
Oh yeah, bro, and it comes with just the journey, dude. So,
Yeah.
does the moment just feel surreal, bro? You growing up from Baltimore, you coming from a most difficult type of situation where not a lot of people can make it out and not go to those top schools. So, did it feel surreal or business as usual?
No, it at you saying coming out of high school or like from then
Like
to
coming out of high
now?
school, like coming out of high school, growing up in Baltimore. Did the moment feel
Yeah,
surreal? The dreams, you know?
it definitely felt surreal. I never really imagined it. Like I really thought I was gonna be either the next statistic or just somewhere working somewhere. Like I never thought like my game would take me this far. Like people always tell me like tell my mother or my father, just my parents that like yeah, like he can go big, and I never just listened to him because we never really had faith in Baltimore. Coming out of Baltimore, you really don't believe stuff like that. So when it happened, it was just like wow, like I can't mess up. I gotta take advantage of my opportunities. Or even if say like I can't have a bad day, but say I didn't take advantage of it, I remind myself real quick of where I came from. People it's people in my city that would die to be in my position. So I will always just be grateful and thankful for where I am.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, what would be the advice for somebody who's been in your situation? What would be the most encouraging way for them to keep going?
I would tell them just, just continue to fight, continue to stay true to who you are, and don't let nobody tell you. I know people say that a lot. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do, but really don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Just continue to tell yourself that you can, because you ain't come this far just to come this far. Like you've been through worse, and you know life gonna hit you, but you just gotta continue to, move forward.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? Maybe the story has a little bit of a different kind of similarities. The more I kind of see where you're coming from, man. Like Michael Orr was a guy who just came out of Memphis, bro. Had a hard time in life, and nobody told him he can do what he does, bro. And he ended up being the Baltimore Ravens starting tackle, won Super
Yeah,
Bowls down there. So, is that a guy you kind of like look as an inspiration, also, or not really?
I really just
Yeah, he's a
no, not
Baltimore Raven.
really. Yeah, he was a Raven, but I tend to look at people in my family, like it's people in my family that came from nothing and became something. So, that's how I look at it. If they can do it, I can do it. Or even like people in my city, just being able to like the mentors I had in my city, So if somebody else can do it from my city, then I can do it.
Yeah. I mean, I would think both you guys have similar backgrounds, come from a tough city. Like,
Yeah.
it's not easy to come out of Memphis from where a
No, at
lot of
all. I
people
know
come.
I know some people from Memphis, and
They say it's not easy.
I yeah,
But
yeah, they
Baltimore's another level, too, like you just said. So you
yeah,
got Detroit, LA. I mean,
yeah,
there's different ways of how you can look at it. But, dude, it's got to be like a great journey, bro. At the end of the
yeah.
day, bro, whatever goes on from here. But let's do rapid fire questions and end it on a high note, man. So, like, okay, cheat diet, bro. So you got McDonald's or Burger King if you had to choose.
Burger King.
Those
I,
Whoppers, man, we could have it our way.
I like Whoppers.
Have it your way.
Yeah,
But okay, so Xbox or PlayStation,
PlayStation.
NCAA or Madden.
I play more NCAA.
Okay, because of yourself. I'm pretty sure once you get into the NFL, you're probably gonna play yourself, anyways.
Yeah,
You could always create yourself on Madden on Superstar, bro.
I just don't have man. I had the last man, and it's just two different games. I think after I play NCAA, we way faster than they is on Madden.
Yeah.
So I kind of I like NCAA.
Oh yeah. But hey, man, whatever the journey is, bro, it's gonna be worth it, man. But okay, one more last question. I know probably not a lot of athletes like drinking a lot of soda, but let's say a cheat diet for that day. How about Coke or Pepsi? Because it's a debate. Like, which one do you like?
Uh, I really don't drink neither one of those. I'm a Sprite or ginger ale type of guy, but if I had to pick Coke or Pepsi, I might do I might do Coke.
Okay. I know for some, when it comes to soul food, grilled chicken or fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Dude, you see, we're clicking there, man. Even for an offensive line guy, bro, I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, dude. But hey, man, it's gonna feel like a great moment, though. So whatever happens from here on out, bro, I'm definitely gonna root for you to succeed, bro. If for some reason it happens 4 years later, man, I'll probably be the one that kind of looked up out the radar, man, because Spence
Yes,
was on the
sir.
radar from my perspective. I don't think a lot of the people in the Niner community even thought of Spencer in the radar. I'm thinking of you as a possible radar.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. And for
My
everybody
mother,
else,
my mother always told me to speak it to existence. So let's continue to speak it.
speaking for into existence, but for everybody else, man, tell them who you are and what you're currently doing.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm Kamar, Missouri, and right now I'm just training for the NFL.
Oh yeah, and tell those teams why they should draft you, and tell them why you feel disrespected for not the invite to the combine.
Yeah, they should draft me because I feel like I'm a different caliber of player.
Oh,
So
what happened?
is
Oh,
it there? You
yeah,
can
yeah, I
hear
got
me?
it. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like I play with a chip on my shoulder, and I'm not gonna let really nothing get in my way. It's either gonna be you or me, and most of the time it's gonna be you. Uh, I, honestly. not getting invited to the combine just put another chip on my shoulder. You know,
Hey, that's even a
my
positive way to put it.
the numbers I'm putting up going is crazy. So come my pro day, you know, I'm just trying to open eyes. You know, have people go back and watch that film and give them a reason of why they should give me opportunity.
Oh yeah, man, for sure, bro. And for everybody else, man, go check out UTSA offensive lineman Kamar, Missouri. This man plays tackle. This guy can play guard. This guy is one of the sleepers, and don't be surprised if he gets drafted as expected, man. But y'all better take him seriously.
Sir.
Yeah, and for everybody else, man, thank y'all for tuning in.